Well, it's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and you're listening to your number one station, RX Radio. Hi, I am Fatboy, and is the situation getting sticky or what? At least when it comes to politics vis-a-vis our attitudes towards LGBT issues, gay rights, homosexuality, whatever you want to call it. And it would appear, to me at least anyway, to my eyes, I see as if the ruling party or the government and its, satellites, the acolytes, the people that are in that camp, seem to want to turn the issue of homosexuality into a point of contention to be used against the political opposition. Already, among NRM supporters, there's a widely circulating viral video that contrasts President Museveni's statements and remarks on homosexuality, as he stated in an interview that aired on CNN, vis-a-vis another interview given by Bobi Wine in which he was a little bit more nuanced and cagey and rather indirect in his response to how he actually feels about homosexuality. Museveni was like, it's disgusting. I don't want to hear about it. Those people are crazy. And Bobi Wine was like, I respect all Ugandans, the diplomatic answer.
What do you think about the LGBTQI community?
I think that all human beings are human beings and all rights are rights. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So would you then move forward to speak about the acceptance of the LGBTI community instead of tolerance? Because tolerance sounds a bit different. Tolerance says, I must tolerate this person who I don't agree with, who I don't like, so I must tolerate this person.
Well, I believe that leadership and indeed respect for rights is the ability to guard one's right even when you don't agree with them. Mm-hmm. One leader once said that I might not agree with you, but I'll guard your right to stand to stand by your position with my life. And I believe that's what leadership is all about.
So you don't believe in the LGBTI community?
Well, I believe in respect for everybody. There are very many people that we are alike and we are not alike.
Yeah.
But so these people,
does it mean respect even though you don't agree with?
Even though you don't agree with somebody, I think respect and of one's rights, even to disagree with you, is very important.
What is your message to Western human rights groups, to President Obama, to lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender people?
Respect African societies and their values. If you don't agree, you just keep quiet. Let's manage our society the way we see. If we are wrong, we shall find out by ourselves. Just the way we don't interfere with yours.
Do you personally dislike homosexuals?
Of course, they are disgusting. What sort of people are they? How can you go? I never knew what they were doing. That's how I've been told recently that what they do is terrible, disgusting. But I was ready to ignore that if there was proof that that's how he's born, abnormal. But now the proof is not there.
What do you think about the LGBT?
Actually, he said, I don't believe in homosexuality as a person, but I believe in human rights for all.
Which is a very fair and respectable and civil position to hold. And really, it's a position that I would recommend people have. Like, you can disagree with a person's lifestyle, but for as long as they're not infringing on your rights, you probably shouldn't interfere. So I think a lot of people might see that Bobi Wine isn't being completely, not making sense. He is. Problem is, in a country like this,
they want you to take a standpoint.
In a country like this where people pretend to be morally righteous, they feign moral righteousness, you need to appear to be staunchly against LGBT in an uncompromising way.
Yeah.
And I think as these supporters of the government circulate these videos, they're trying to show that, the NRM and the Museveni stands against homosexuality, whereas the opposition, and in particular NUP, might be pro these issues, okay? And in fact, many on the opposition have pointed to the ongoing debate on LGBT, on the anti-homosexuality bill, as a ploy by the government to just politicize the issue for their own benefit.
But the mover of that bill is actually an opposition member of parliament, Asman Basalira. He's an NUP member of parliament.
Okay.
Yeah, so though on the whole, the members of parliament that have been quite vocal, that have jumped onto this bandwagon of homosexuality in the country are from the NRM party. The opposition is largely quiet, because I've even seen people saying, opposition, speak up. Do you like gay? Are you for gay rights, or are you not? Say something so that we know where you stand.
And what did they say?
And majority of them are quiet.
Well, there is a one Honorable Kabuye Frank, who I believe is the MP representing Kasanda
Yes.
constituency, who took to Twitter on the 11th of March. So this is a couple of days ago, almost a week ago, where he tweeted the following. He said, "Homosexuality is not a crime. Homosexuals are human beings like us, and I believe their rights also matter. So let's learn to accommodate them in our societies and treat them with respect." This he tweeted on the 11th of March, to which a one Gaba Republic, aka David Katongole 1, responded, "It should be a crime. I don't think this is the opinion of the people of Kasanda that you represent. Shame on you." To which Honorable Kabuye Frank replies, "This is my opinion. I think we should respect each other." Now, some of this Honorable MP's supporters claimed afterwards that his account had been hacked, although I'm not seeing any real indication of that. But let's assume...
But what's wrong with what he said?
There is nothing wrong with what he said.
What he said is innocent, really. I don't think someone needs to hack into his account to say this. Maybe it's because of pressure.
The blowback. Because unfortunately, and this is where I think the government is capitalizing on this, the opposition here relies heavily on patronage from external forces, donors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they rely a lot on the support they receive from the European Union and other foreign organizations that acknowledge them, give them funds, provide them a platform to speak their message and so forth. And arguably, you could even say some of their backers.
And let's face it, most of these organizations that support the opposition in our country are also the organizations that have been accused of promoting homosexuality in the rest of the world.
Right. So unfortunately, NUP seems to be in a position where it would be detrimental to their relations with the donor community for them to explicitly state a disdain for homosexuality or direct opposition to homosexuality.
Yeah.
Which is why it comes as no surprise that their politicians are using language that is more nuanced and
vague.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because then they can go to the donors and say, well, hey, we respect their rights, but, this. So basically they can get them off their backs.
They can get themselves out of the sticky situation.
So now, if the NRM were to keep hammering this point and keep forcing these guys into a corner, they will find themselves in a difficult place where they may have to denounce them stridently, and in so doing, compromise their ability to fundraise and get support.
But you see, my grandmother used to say that a person that has maintained their silence does not actually regret that, because if I'm silent, you can assume anything. But when I speak up, then I can't take it back. And they say it is better to keep silent and be assumed a fool than to speak and remove all doubt. What am I saying? NUP is safer not taking a stand on this, because taking a stand whichever way is going to blow back on them, whether with the donors or the electorate down at home. So they are better off not saying anything. We respect human rights, which is true. We should respect human rights. I don't think a person that is homosexual should be sentenced to death or to spend time in jail unless they rape someone, or like I usually tell you over the couple of weeks, that unless they are recruiting children, if they become that aggressive, then that should be the criminal part. But if you're just living your life, and the other thing is, let them just keep their business in their closets, in their bedrooms. We don't need to know, and everyone will be happy.
Okay, well, the problem is they do want everyone to know, and they do want to rub it in everyone's faces. And so...
And the challenge of rubbing it in everyone's faces, it could actually be okay, because if I walked into a bar and I saw a gay couple seated across, it's not going to disgust me that I have to leave the room. No. I mean, they're not doing anything, just like I will walk in with a guy and we have a good time. The only problem is that even where it is not necessary, you're talking about politics and someone says, oh, my name is Olive and I'm gay. I'm like,
yeah, it's tiring and it's boring. And that's why, just from a strategic standpoint, if the ruling party were to seize on this and to just unflinchingly use it as a battering ram to corner these guys, it might work to their political advantage.
But even them, you will notice that, yes, a few people have come out and spoken so violently and, about it. But at the same time, there's so many that are quiet, because having a law against homosexuality in the land compromises many of the benefits they get from those countries. It compromises the education of their children in some countries, their visas. They also don't want it, because at the end of
You mean like the ruling party people?
Yes, the MPs, they like to travel. They like to take their children to all these schools. So imagine a time when maybe countries like this will be like, oh, because of the comments you made, because of the laws you enacted when you're in parliament in this country, your family cannot step into our country. And they don't want that. So on the law, they want the bill to die a natural death.
But they just want to use it to posture themselves, to portray themselves to be
down
the
here,
saviors of tradition and morality.
Exactly. Imagine on the day it was supposed to be presented, most members of parliament didn't even show up. Yet when they were censuring the Pasis Namuganza, the minister for land, there was a full house.
Right, priorities,
right?
This makes no sense. But anyway.
So let's not waste money and time. I mean, we have bigger fish to fry as a country. Let's stop this. It's already tired.
Politics is a circus, and it's all about looking for ways to make your opponent look bad. And NUP better be careful, because they might have just exposed a weak spot that the ruling party might exploit and
I don't know.
take advantage of. But we'll see.